A big pattern change is on the way, and southeast snow is also on the way, including into portions of the mid-Atlantic and northeast. We really have to keep a watch on. And besides that, some bitter cold coming for the eastern 2/3 of the U.S. The west stays temperate with calm but interesting conditions to talk about there as well. Mainly just some high pressure, but some light snows and light rains in the higher elevations near the valleys. But overall, pretty temperate and quiet there. It's really when you get, I say, east of the Dakotas where it really starts to get interesting. So, let's get right into it. So, here's our surface analysis, okay? We always like to start off with surface analysis. It gives us a nice picture of what's going on right now, okay? Several little high pressures currently over here in the west. Very temperate. Maybe some light showers, especially closer to the Pacific Northwest, as we typically see in La Nina winters. Besides that, very little in terms of any precipitation or anything interesting. Central U.S. got a new high pressure that's kind of coming in right now through here. This will sag a little more south and east. Broad cold front to the south that is introducing this cooler air. Not too big of a contrast, but something. And then a stationary front to the west, as this won't be really spreading any cold air west, mainly just digging south and east. Further to the east, a high pressure kind of in place, or a low pressure. This was kind of that clip I was talking about past couple of videos. I brought some snow up here in portions of Canada, kind of tried to sneak closer to the lakes. This is kind of lifting out, but some isobars kind of spread into the northeast, but no real influence. As this high starts to move in, it should get a little nicer, but before that, we go to the south and east, where we have this low right here. We're watching this low, okay? It's very weak, but either way, whether it's this low or not, we're going to get some precipitation, some energy that comes through here. Here's your high pressure up here. This is a trough, okay? It's going to dig a little bit more, but not fully. That's kind of part of the reason why we're not getting that mid to late week winter storm this week, as we were looking at earlier this week, and especially late last week. But it will dig a little bit, pick up some of these pieces of energy, and we're going to get a little bit of precipitation to break out across the eastern seaboard. So we'll talk about that in the coming minutes. Alerts wise, it's a little more active than we've seen it. Okay, Pacific Northwest, really just dense fog advisories as we have some low clouds. Wind advisories, high wind warnings, portions of the Dakotas, Nebraska, Kansas, Montana, Wyoming, portions of Colorado. We don't see that all too often. And it's a red flag warnings where we could get some fire conditions. So we're watching that. Partly due to a high pressure gradient that may be setting up shop there. Further to the east, special weather statements, all with that winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings and lake effect snow warnings, all kind of interlinked. And then as you go south, frost advisories well into Florida, north, central, and even portions of southern Florida. So that's something interesting as well. So some stuff here we don't see that common. Now, this kind of an extension. As you scroll down, you see this portion right here. This is Alaska. You have winter storm warnings. You have heavy freezing spray warnings, blizzard warnings, winter storm watches, winter storm warnings. This is all because you have really cold in Alaska right now. That also means we have a positive EPO in Alaska. Just kind of showing some pattern recognition based off just National Weather Service alerts and indices, and we'll confirm that in a bit. So let's talk about the next 84 hours. So here's kind of your system. Here's your high pressure. Here's your trough right here. Start trying to dig through. Some energy starts to spike up as you get some return flow. Some southeasterly flow though. And you'll see the trough tries to dig a little more, and it does. Gets actually to Florida. And with this, some colder temperatures, this is really what could bring some frost, I think, or especially after there, for example. Look at that. But okay, let's go right back. So looking at that moisture, this is the RGEM. You got your low, sags through, kind of develops further here. This is your upper level low, and then you'll see a low try to form off the coast. If we had it closer and the upper level low was further south and east, coastal low was further north and west, you got a phase, then you could really get something more substantial. But the trough, the upper level low, overall just too north. Your 540 line sure is all the way over here, but half of it is rain because it's surface marginal temps. So either way, the upper level low is just too north and west for anything substantial. But you do get some snow, some possibly steadier pockets on the backside. Besides that, nothing much. There's kind of your coastal low right here races off. It's well ahead of that upper level low. And you do want it ahead, but you don't want it super ahead, if you know what I mean. And they just don't come together till late. Here's another shot, a little low here. This is kind of it. You have one little impulse and then your second impulse. This is where it could get something a little more interesting that heads out. And then afterwards, we see something else that's interesting, okay? Another little upper level low. Here's your trough getting ready to dig. Is there any energy here? There is. Okay, you'll see it kind of gets scooped up. And you'll see something pop off. So if we go look here, okay? It's not strong. Here's your southern stream right through here. Some light pieces of energy, but it can get amplified once this trough digs, upper level low shifts east, and I mean that ridge, it's tall. Again, you'd want that slightly further east, but it's there. And so as you continue this through, you get a little bit of precipitation, okay? And I mean, look at that. This is 11 a.m. Saturday. It's very broken, okay? And that's because we don't, again, get a clean fuse. But you do have some snow breaking out in portions of the Mid-Atlantic. DC to almost Boston, you see some light to moderate snow. Could it be accumulating? For sure. So it's something we're to watch. Okay, this RGM shows a little kind of piece of energy that heads out. And then after, who knows what happens. But it gets interesting, okay? Because after is when you really get that energy. Excuse me, sorry. Unprofessional of me to yawn, my fault. So, anyway, when you do look at this trough, you see this positive tilt, okay? Here's our upper level trough right here. Positive tilt is trying to dig. It is positive tilt. You want it negative or at least neutral, and it does get there, but it's digging, okay? And so you get a piece of energy. Once it goes neutral, eventually negative, it swings along the coast. So we're gonna have to watch this. Okay, here's your kind of, this little impulse of energy is what brings that snow, and then after that we watch what happens. Nam, kind of similar as well, digs it even more. Here's your little impulse of energy through here, and after we'll have to see what happens. Now, warning, fantasy runs incoming. Okay, that's all I'll say. Warning is that fantasy runs are incoming. So let's talk about the 12Z GFS. What does it have? Here's your first shot where we could have had. We're gonna look at 500 millibar GF potential heights first for surface map. Here it is, upper level low up here, south stream down here, way apart, over 500 miles apart, stringed out, not barely even neutral, still almost positive, even off the coast. Terrible, okay, terrible. Pieces are there, timing is just not, okay? I mean, like, that's so good. Like, you have your 500, you have your sunstream, it just can't come together. If it did, could have been something really big. Behind that, we get another shot. This is your Sunday shot. This looks nice, okay? Why? Well, southern stream right here. This time that trough is digging. 500 is like right here, so they're much closer. Okay, and they're actually interacting. If you saw like solid 500 right here, solid piece of energy here, that means they're not really interacting. Here you can see it digging and interacting. That's a good thing, okay? And so you see it dig. There it starts to take shape. This is when it's already neutral. It's neutral, yet it's still not even at the coast. And it goes negative almost before it even reaches the coast. It does go negative, brings it up, and it's a very, very interesting run. We're going to look at that. And then behind that, lots of energy continues to flow and stuff. So let's look at that surface map, okay? Just going to warn you guys, this is not a forecast. This is just looking at that surface map. Here it is, right here, okay? Cold air established, low takes place. I mean, snow almost to the Gulf Coast, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and you get a low to pop off. It's a beautiful one too, 994. You'd want this more west for sure, but it pops off, and I mean, look at that. Absolutely, definitely over amplified, but it's been a trend. Okay, it's been a trend. So I'm not writing this one off the table. Look at this trend. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, well. Let me go way back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, it's trending west, okay, on the GFS. This is something to watch. What does the Euro show? Okay, so we'll actually go back to the 500s, and we'll kind of go back to this picture right here. Let's see, compare and contrast to the Euro. Here's our first shot. Just obviously too far apart. Interaction happens so late. Not good. Here you have that trough digging again. Your trough is digging. This is nice. A nice signature. Okay. Now I will say it does take a little longer to go neutral. Like this is still positive here, and the energy is more stringed out, but it tries to get picked up. I mean, 108. Look at the differences. Those are some differences. Why? GFS more amped, and you kind of see this curvature. That means you have a low pressure taking place off the coast. Okay. Euro, you just have this string of energy. The Euro, it's just a string. Eventually you'll get a low, but if you don't have a low right here, it'll probably happen way offshore, maybe like over here, and then it's up. Like, I mean, let's kind of take a look. It almost takes forever. It seems like on the Euro. I mean, yeah, that curve doesn't happen up till there, and it's not nearly amplified as the GFS. So, how does it look like on surface? Well, here's a kind of precursor, little appetizer event. Definitely gonna watch it. That heads out, and then boom. It really never gets its act together, okay? Low really never forms. You do get some precipitation in portions of the southeastern coastlines. Some snow as it taps into the colder air, but little to nothing. Like, it barely scrapes. Could be interesting, but now you look at the trends. What has the trend been? It's been west. Southwest too. Also kind of reflects a trough digging more. So if we were to look at the vort here as well on the past couple GFS runs, watch how it starts digging. See how it digs? It was originally like that. Now it's like that. It's digging. So it gets more time to go neutral and eventually negative. Euro, what about it? Well, I'm just kind of showing you guys all the trends, like why it's looking a little more favorable, at least a higher chance than we have had the past few days. Watch the trend. It's digging. It's shifting west. With that shifting west, the low is probably going to shift west. So we're going to keep watching this. Okay, even though it's not GFS's complete match, it's getting closer to the GFS, if we're being honest. Who do I trust? Probably neither right now. Honestly, it's still very uncertain, even with Sunday, Saturday kind of closing in on us. For now, GFS kind of on an island. Euro and CMC doesn't quite show the surface output, so I'd lean closer to them. But the chance is there, and I would certainly not rule it out. But yeah, that's about it for today's video. Just wanted to show you guys the trends, and it's really pleasing for me to see, especially that we could have a snow threat on the way. And if you did not watch my previous video, check it out. After that, we obviously have another pretty good pattern, a little different, just overrunning type events where we'll have to take a look at. If you do enjoy this video, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing with friends. See you guys in the next one.